I've worked out, and it did nothing for me. It took away what little body fat I had.
I still have a weight problem. I'm 6'6", I weigh 520 pounds.
I was in so much pain, I didn't think I had any other options. I was caught in this eating disorder and just watching myself slowly committing suicide.
Every time I go shopping, if I don't come home with something, then it's gonna be a terrible day for me.
What is wrong with this picture? How come my head doesn't see what other people see?
I think that most people judge a person by the way they look.
I finally realized that I'd be dead if I didn't get help.
School, the mall, the slopes, the beach. Where can you go to get away from the pressure to look good? What is looking good anyway? What they want? What I want?
I like to be different. I don't want to be normal.
All the cheerleaders have to look like they would be cheerleaders. And then all the football players had to look like they'd be football players.
Just how much am I willing to pay? In dollars, emotional energy, and physical discipline to have other people feel good about me?
By dressing a certain way, people are going to accept you. You know, if you dress up like a stoner or whatever, they're going to go, hey, you know, I bet you he takes drugs or whatever. Or, you know, you dress up like a preppy or whatever you dress up like. Certain people are going to be attracted to you in the sense that he looks like me, I want to hang out with him.
When I first came to school, I picked out all my clothes the night before, made sure that they matched perfectly, and they went with what everybody else was wearing, just so that I could fit in, so that I could make a couple friends.
And then there's having the right stuff. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. It's how you look playing the game, right?
Hey, I'm Sam Rush. I'm here with Edge TV. We're in Winter Park, Colorado. It's a great day for skiing, and I've got a good-looking group of guys here, and we're going to talk about their clothes for a minute. How much did you spend on your outfit with skis, boots, and pole?
About $200. I don't know, about $1,200 probably.
I spent about $1,000 on my outfit. I worked all summer to pay for it.
So tell me, why would you want to spend that much money on your ski outfit?
Because you gotta look good.
Oh, look good, ski good. See, I'm getting it now. Now, are you putting anything away for college or mostly just for fun?
Mostly for fun. Hopefully my parents will pay for college.
Hopefully, have you talked to them about it?
Yeah. Well, they don't think I'll make it to college, so they're not too worried.
What are you gonna do? Can I afford to look good all the time? Can I afford not to?
We got dressed up, you know, we both had skirts on, you know, we were gonna go to the movies and, you know, walk around the mall. And she had pantyhose on and I didn't, and so I needed some pantyhose and we couldn't use the money because we needed that for, like, dinner and stuff. And so we went in there and we were looking around and we were looking for pantyhose, and actually I thought that she was gonna buy them, and she thought that she was gonna buy them, but neither one of us really communicated that, and so we ended up, she put them in a pair of shorts or something for me, and I went and tried them on, and I put on the pantyhose, and then we walked out the store. The school is very snobby, you know, kind of stuck up. It comes from a very rich, you know, everybody's rich, you know, and I'm not. We got caught, and, you know, we were being questioned and everything. We were sitting there talking, and she was about hysterical because her parents were going to kill her. And she said, God, I didn't want to do that. And I go, neither did I. She goes, then why did we do it? And I didn't know. I couldn't say why. I think it was just because I wanted to fit in, because she wanted to fit in.
How I see myself goes deeper than what I wear. It's what I eat and how I exercise. And it's about how I measure up when I look in the mirror.
I'm 14 and my best friend, she thinks she's fat, and I don't think she's fat. And one of my good friends, her parents think she's anorexic, but she's always dieting, and she's real athletic, and she's really pretty. She's one of like prettiest girls you could see, and she just has low self-esteem, and I think she's gorgeous. She's skinny and everything. Like, a lot of guys like her, and I don't understand why. She feels that way about herself.
I'm aware that I have this stuff going on, and so I can relate to people, and I think it's so important because I'm teaching these 13-year-old girls who are having the roughest time in their entire life that being something inside is more important than being a magazine cover.
My entire bedroom was wallpapered with cutout pictures from fashion magazines, and that's the environment that I isolated myself in, and I lived in that room most of the time. I spent most of my time in there just with these visual images all around me, trying to motivate myself.
In the morning, when it takes me forever to get ready. I have to get up usually about 5 o'clock, and I stay in the bed until about 5:30, to make sure, let the alarm go off 10 or 15 times before I get up. It takes forever usually, because I'm one of those slow people. And after washing my hair, blow drying my hair, putting the extra makeup on, trying to find something to wear, trying 4 or 5 outfits on to make sure it looks all right, and then usually, we try to leave my house about 7. We don't leave until about 7:15 just because Lauren's slow. There's nothing. I don't want to, but there's some mornings where Lauren can get up at 6:45 and be out of the house at 7, but it's not too often. When I was little, I didn't start out wearing makeup and stuff, but just as I got older, as I start wearing it and then everyone sees me with it on, I just can't leave the house without it because everyone's just like, what's wrong with Lauren today, It's like, once you start wearing it and, you've always curled your hair and you leave the house one day without your hair curled, your makeup on, then that's just, I don't know, I couldn't understand myself doing that if I have, the time the other mornings.
Okay, my body and personal appearance are important to me as an actor, especially in a commercial sense when I'm talking about an advertisement, your 60 and 30-second commercials on television, because a lot of the time they're specifically casting a type or a look.
The people in the magazines and in the movies and on TV, that's all illusion. In between camera takes, they've got makeup people and hair people and wardrobe people, and the lights are adjusted just so to make them look their best, and that's all illusion. Those people don't even look like that in real life.
Hair is a lot more of a stylish fashion thing rather than clothing or weight nowadays, because those with permed hair are the ones that wear nice clothing and have necklaces around their neck and gold on their fingers, and the ones who have their head shaved have a little bit of political background, violent feelings. Those with short blonde hair, like mine, are often looked at as lesbians or dykes, even at my age, or are just tomboys who are in sports or other such. The GQ look with males, the slicked back hair or such, the mohawks give a punk outlook, and all of those hairstyles represent music, and out of music comes clothing, and with the music there's the new age music, which is also a religion, which also comes with inner feelings. There are the heavy metalists with long hair, sometimes frizzy, that has some feelings too, a lot, sometimes violence, sometimes even a religious feeling, as people say with satanic religion. Those with short cut hair or shave sometimes are into new wave or postmodern, which has a lot of a lot of electronic instruments. And those with just the hair with the name written in their hair, or the permed hair, which will come the soul, the black music, or the regular top 40 music. So, and out of that comes the clothing, and out of that comes the groups and the cliques.
Working out becomes an addiction, I'm sure, like anything else. It's something that you look forward to, but there's an invigorating feeling about finishing a workout. It feels good. So, it's not all bad, but I do think that working out can be a compulsive activity just like anything else. Why am I so driven to keep going when everyone else or some other people or certain few or someone else says, "What are you, nuts? You look great." But I don't buy it. 1,000 compliments could never clear up those few that were so negative that they stick with you. And they're lies. You know, you hear lies, and you have no idea why these lies are said to you, but they sit there and they ruminate, and they sit in your head, and they fester away, and they become obsessive. The thoughts of what someone may have said can become these obsessive thoughts, and they're like a termite. Given enough time, it could eat you away. It's almost like I'm a prisoner to being physically fit.
I've been a recovering eating disorder person for about 3 years. I had a lot of problems. I mean, one was that sometimes I wouldn't eat for days. Sometimes I'd eat a lot. And then my big way of purging was exercising and things like that, but I did do the other methods, and there are thousands of things that you can do in order to purge.
And I also discovered various aspects of eating disorders, starving myself, eating large quantities of food and self-inducing vomiting, abusing laxative, abusing exercise, doing anything I had to do to try and stay thin.
I remember being in 7th grade, and I had 6 or 7 friends that found an article in a magazine, and they sent it anonymously to my parents because they were afraid that my parents didn't know that I was killing myself with this problem. And my parents said, "Oh, no, she's just dancing, and she has to be thin when she dances."
And it didn't matter how bad I looked at home or what a mess my room was, but when I was out there in the world and with my peers, you know, at school or whatever, I had to look perfect. I had to be perfect. I had to look like I had it all together. And inside, I was just becoming hollow inside. I was becoming empty. I was becoming extremely depressed.
I finally realized that I'd be dead if I didn't get help. Because I felt like a shell. And I felt like I was playing a game. And it was getting harder and harder to just deal with every day.
I just gave up. I had just given up. I was in so much pain. I didn't think I had any other options. I was caught in this eating disorder and just watching myself slowly committing suicide. And I figured, why take all this time and go through this pain and hurt all the people that I love? I needed to, I just couldn't do it anymore. It was hurting me too much. It was hurting the people I loved too much, and I didn't see any other way out. And so I attempted suicide at age 17.
I thought I was dying. I mean, I had these heart palpitations. I had pain in my chest. I was going, okay, I'm too young to be having a heart attack, but I was doubled over in pain, and I went to the doctor. And my potassium was low. And the reason why my potassium was low was because I had been purging.
By the grace of God, and I know that's all it was, I lived through it. And I woke up in the recovery room at the hospital, and I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel ashamed. I was just grateful to be there. I was grateful to be alive. And I knew that God had, it was like God was telling me, this is not my will for you. This isn't what I planned your life to be like.
I have a very, very strong belief in God. It's inside. It's not something that is very external. I don't go to services and things, but it's inside. And I would say that I talk to God all the time.
When I am really in tune with God, when I take the time out to talk to Him in the morning before I go out and start my day, and I really ask Him to let me be His channel, and I don't do it for myself, and I don't try to control my life, and I just let God work through me, that gives me self-esteem. I love myself. I can feel when that's happening, when I'm letting go of control and I'm letting God work.
I defined my body image as what Christ wanted me to be. If He wanted me to be fat, then I would have been fat. If he wanted me to be black, I would have been black. I am the way I am, and if I grow my hair long or I cut it, I'll still wear red some days, I'll still wear black some days, I'll still listen to jazz or classical or postmodern or heavy metal. And God made me the way I am, and it's not the way I look, it's the way I treat others.
God gave the prophet Jeremiah good news that encourages people even today. I know the plans I have for you, he said, plans to prosper you, not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Sometimes that seems hard to believe, like when McLean Gardner's parents told him they were thinking about taking a couple of years off to do medical missionary work right in the middle of his high school career. What do you do when what God sends your way seems more threatening than promising?
It was here on the fringe of guerrilla territory, in a nameless native village inhabited by a tribe of fierce Negritos, an incident occurred which was destined to startle the civilized world.
My dad said, well, how about Africa? Africa? That doesn't sound like me. I don't want to go to Africa. I really didn't think it was really going to come true because I thought, oh, it's going to be another one of those things where it's not going to work out. The first real time that it has struck me has basically been in the last weeks when the whole house has been depleted of just about everything, with the furniture and everything. My room is nothing. I have no posters up and everything. It's really starting to hit me that I'm not coming back for a long time. I have to say, leaving my friends, it's been really strenuous on me because, like, I don't really want to get to know any new people anymore, and I don't want to keep on, like, hanging out with a lot of my friends because then I'm going to get too close to them and not really want to go. And so it's kind of hard because I've, like, blocked myself out from everything else lately because I really don't want to get into it. And it's kind of sad because, like, there's lots of parties I'd rather go to and stuff like that. Finding the stuff that I can take and the stuff that I can't take, and some of the stuff I can't take I really want to take and I can't. I've had to take finals 3 and 4 weeks ahead in advance because now I'm finding it really hard to say goodbye to my friends. I've packed for a year and a half. 10 pairs of shoes, 20 pairs of shorts, 30 shirts, lots of socks. I hope I don't get homesick. I will be in Kinshasa, it's hard to say, and my mom and dad will be in Kananga, which Kananga is 600 to 700 miles away from Kinshasa. I really don't think I'm going to see them much, maybe once at Christmas and once at my birthday maybe. You can't drive, there's no roads. You can take the river, it's very dangerous. It's kind of neat, I can have a totally new image from what I have right now. I can totally change my image, I can be whatever I want to be now. And it's kind of, yeah, I'd say it's really exciting because it's going to be more like an adventure. It's kind of messing me up with God. I'm finding that I'm not having as much time as I used to because I'm packing, doing homework. I'm trying to be with my friends as much as possible, and it's really kind of hurting me with God, I guess you could say, because I'm not spending as much time with him as I usually did or do or should. And I don't feel that's very good, because I should be spending more time than I'm going to Africa, but I'm not. I'm spending less, and that's probably bad for me. Even though I am going to be going to a missionary compound where there's going to be lots of missionary kids and everything, I really don't feel that I'm going to get as much love as I do here, or as much spiritual growth as I do here. It's really kind of sad because I found a really good youth group and everything, and it was kind of sad last week. I was over there and they all got it in a big huge circle and started praying for me and everything. It was really kind of sad. Everybody was crying and everything, and I just thought, wow, I've never felt that before, and it was really, that's one of the major things that's really kind of holding me back. I'm going to leave part of my heart here because a lot of my friends are in that group, and it really hurts. I think it'll be worth it because of all the experiences I'm going to have over there, all the friends I'm going to make, I hope. I'm going to see a part of the world that not many people are going to see, and I'm going to see poverty like not many people are going to see. And I feel that's going to really change my viewpoint in life and what's really important to me in my life.
Now that he's in Africa, McLean can't surf and can't drive and can't go out in the river without being slaughtered by pirates. So after he's done his homework and matched his many socks, he has very little to do. Boring. So write him already. That's McLean Gardner, care of the Global Missions Unit, 100 Witherspoon, Louisville, Kentucky, 40202-1396. Julie Miller writes and performs with extraordinary honesty about the good and bad news in her life. The bad news is that Julie is among the inconceivably high number of women who know the unholy trauma of sexual abuse. Some estimates run as high as 38% by the age of 18. The good news is that Julie is one of the most remarkable new recording artists we've heard in years.
Pain from childhood makes you feel so isolated. You feel so incredibly alone, and you can't distinguish between, you mean God's not like this man? If God's like my father, it's actually, God is still working on me. Even to say father, calling God father, it's like, get stuck in my mouth. And I'm in a group of women who are survivors of being sexually molested. And they're all Christians, you know, and sometimes, but rarely, but sometimes God touches one of us in a miraculous way where it's like, where he lifts us right over a river, but most of the way he's just walking along with us, and we just have to face these things that we just, it's like facing monsters to me. That's what it feels like. As you become an adult, that pressure starts banging down your door. And you start acting it out, and you start feeling crazy. And actually, you know, people that have been abused, I honestly don't know how they do it without Jesus.
Is there any way you could say no to this man?
Children have this wonderful ability to say to themselves, this horrible thing did not happen, and I don't believe it, and I'm forgetting all about it right now. I sort of see our family as like the smile face family, big yellow hands with a smile and 2 dots. Because we were like we went to church and sang in the choir and parents taught Sunday school and then came out of the church door and wow, were things ever different and very totally opposite, and no one ever said, yes, there's a problem here. Finally, I actually said to God, God, I cannot do this. I do not know how to do this. So goodbye. Do whatever it takes to really bring me to you. I actually said those exact words to God. It was like the Lord drew back and said, okay, I'm gonna let you see how good you really are.
How could you look in his tear-stained eyes, knowing it's you he's thinking of? Could you tell him you're not ready to give him your life?
I spent about 6 years out in the world, you know, cutting myself with glass habitually, fingernail marks in myself, teeth marks, pulling my hair out, literally because of all the pain, a lot of repressed pain from the past. It was as if that was the only thing. It got to the point where that was the only thing that would bring me any relief, was physical self-destructiveness. And then I thought, well, you know, voices would just say to kill myself.
Did you tell him you're not ready to give him your life? Could you say you don't think you need his love?
And my guitar friend came up to me and he said, so you want to go home with me? And I go, no. He said, oh, well, you want me to take you to Buddy's house? No. He asked me a couple other things. No. You know what I really want to do? And I pulled this glass out and started whacking myself up with it. And I remember I was sitting on this, the table, and I saw the man in the white coat come to the door. And just to see him, I freaked out. I jumped off the table, carrying the sheet with me, ran over, switched off the light switch, and got in a corner, down it like a little child. And so he committed me to a mental institution. When I came to the next day, I wasn't asleep. I was sitting up, I was sitting in a chair with bandages all over me, and I snapped to just like that. And I looked around and I thought, what have I done now? I mean, there were totally crazy people in there, and I thought, I'm not really crazy, I'm just upset. I'm just sad. I'm in pain and I'm not crazy. But if I stand here, I will be crazy.
Jesus is here with his arms open wide. You can see him in your heart if you'll stop looking with your eyes. He's left it up to you. He's done all he can. Is there any way you could say no to this man?
The little girl part has thought, God wants to rape me. That actually came out of my mouth in a little child's voice. That's what happens. That's what happens to the deep part of you. The little child part gets really confused. really confused.
How could you tell him you're not ready to give him your life? Could you say you don't think you need his love?
During this period of time, I was living with my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and I went back to our apartment and we moved the sofa across the room, and underneath the sofa was this Bible that I'd had carried around all these years, and I had it under the couch where the leg was missing. That was keep it down there, it's gonna get me. And we moved it, and I thought, you know, I guess that is really disrespectful, and God doesn't deserve that, but I'm not gonna read it, but I shouldn't put it under there like that. I'll leave it out, but I'm not gonna read it. I did end up reading it. And then I kept reading, and I got to the part where he said, Peter, do you love me? And 3 times, Peter, do you love me? Peter, do you love me? And the Lord really came to me. When I read those words, the Lord spoke to me, and he said, Julie, do you love me? And not will you perform for me, and not will you be this and be that and act like this and wear this and be this, but do you love me? Would you love me? And it just really started to break my heart. And yet I was so down. I felt so hopeless. I honestly, and I had no faith, and I didn't understand the power of God. I didn't, even as God would be speaking to me, I thought, but I would never be a Christian. I couldn't. I'd really like to be.
How could you look his tear-stained eyes, knowing it's you he's thinking of? How could you tell him you're not ready to give him your life? Could you say you don't think you need his love?
Once I wanted to know the truth most of all, and once I saw God's heart. That are the 2 things that started changing me, changing my life. It opened some kind of door, and I tell you, the door opened a little bit, and the anxiousness of God to reveal himself to me poured in. It was time to go sing, and I started walking in and brushing these tears away and thinking, am I flipping out again? No. I believe in God. I believe in God. I could believe in God. I thought it was so fun.
How is there any way you could say no to this man?
It's all jumbled up. It's all confused. I don't know how to get it nice and orderly yet, and I'm right in the middle of a lot of it. But really, that's where I've been, is in the pain and in facing things that were too monstrous to even think. You can't run and you can't hide, at least not for long.
My friend Nancy's been doing a lot of drugs. I know it's catching up with her. I can see it coming. But what can I do? If I say anything, she'll think I'm not cool. And I don't want to lose a friend. I mean, it's her life. Right?
If you have a friend who's in trouble with drugs, don't just stand there. Do something.
And now let's all play Lexiconorama. Today's first word, evangelism.
When they preach about stuff that they think is right and they try to make money off of it, that's evangelism. Never even heard the word before. They like preach and they talk about it, but I don't think they're certified.
To preach the ways of the Lord, I guess.
Reconciliation is when you make up with somebody, like your boyfriend.
I've heard it a lot, but I can't really think of what it means.
Reconciliate, make up. That's it.
I have no idea what these words are.
To reconcile, I believe, is to like compromise on something, decide something between two people.
Sin, when you're bad.
Sin?
To do wrong. Premarital sex.
It means to do something that's wrong according to biblical doctrine. Evilness.
Sin.
To do what's wrong, even though you already know right from wrong.
Salvation.
I don't know what it is.
Well, salvation is is within you. You can only get that through
Salvation.
It's like cleanliness.
You can only get that through you just can't have all is one.
Salvation. Okay. I know what it means. I'm a Christian. It's really hard to say.
I don't know really.
It's just the fact that Jesus came here to save us from our sins so we don't have to go to hell. That's my opinion of what it is.
When I hear conversion, I think of like conversation.
Conversion?
Conversion.
Conversion.
That would be to be converted, like to be changed to a different religion. Say you were Christian and you converted to being a Mormon or something like that. To get around things, or to get around something.
Isn't it to put things together?
To change, not necessarily in a better way. It could be in a worse way. It's just to converse over. Switching over.
Maybe to convert something into something else. I don't know. To go from one religion to another.
Oh, like in football when you make this point, you make this touchdown, and then you're going for like field goal. That's a conversion.
We're in northern Mexico with a group of San Diego high school students who've been working here for about 6 years. All of them, or at least many of them, since they were freshmen in high school, building houses for the poor. They come down about once a month, spend all of their spring break here during Easter time, and they build houses, 12 by 16 foot structures, very simple, but very important to the people who live in them.
I come down to Mexico with my youth group to build a house for families that don't have shelter at all. They just live out in the dirt. And I've been doing this for about 2 years, from freshman till now I'm a junior. And the reason that I come down is for myself and because I really am making a difference. And so I really feel like building a house helps individual people, maybe not the whole world, but I get to meet the people that move in sometimes. So that's really special for me, to see their faces and to know that they will not have to deal with the rain at night sometimes.
The people who live here in Cafe Telera make bricks. They make them out of ordinary clay. They put the clay into forms platforms are smoothed out, they dry in the sun. Eventually those bricks are built into a sort of kiln, which is loaded with wood and petroleum sludge and then burned off until the bricks are as hard as they can make them. They then sell those off and try to make a subsistence living out of that.
It's taught me that people are very different, and that just because of their race or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're not people, just like everyone else. And just because I was brought up in a different environment doesn't make me any better than people who have a different environment. Well, they started with no floor, simple walls and a straight roof. Now we have a solid floor, a pitched roof, got a whole system we go down through, and normal doors. We used to have sliding doors that you kind of had to shake through to get open. It's changed a lot down here. It's really gotten a lot better, and there's a lot more people coming. It really motivates people.
The American kids who come down here get up early on Saturday mornings and come down across the border. It's about 90 minutes, and they work all day long.
Okay, hold on, hang on.
It's an exciting thing. A lot of them know that they wouldn't be allowed to pick up a hammer and build a shed to put the lawnmower in at home, but here they are housing about 40 families here in the last 6 years, and more on a waiting list and always in need. They spend about $1,000 a month on building materials and food, and their churches have been real involved in making that happen. And in a real significant way, they're changing lives while their own lives are being changed in the process.
It's just exciting. I love it. You know. I love the building. I love being with the people. It's just fun.
I feel like sometimes I'm the one getting the most out of this, that I'm learning about what God wants me to do and what it is to sacrifice.
I'm not a Christian because I'm a 5% Muslim. My belief is in Allah, Father Civilization. I used to be a Christian, but I got converted into the religion of Islam because it's like a religion that describes me. It's like a basic religion of knowledge, foundation of all matter. It describes me and myself. And it's just.
What do you think about people who aren't Christians?
That's freedom of culture, culture freedom. Way of life, their own way of life. They can live their own way of life. Well, when I was younger, I didn't really think about religion until I got like in the 5th grade. And I started thinking about it because we started studying. But when I got in 7th grade, that's when I really started thinking about it. And I said, and I met some friends who were Muslims, and I said, maybe I should become a Muslim. I would like just be cool because it's a basic religion. So I said, I'm gonna become a Muslim. And I said, I learned all the stuff like you gotta know the alphabet and all that, and it describes me. It helps. It's just a great feeling inside. Justice.